welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Each week we introduce you to just a sampling of our adoptable pets. And first up, with our volunteer Tammy Benson, we have Claire. Claire is one of our oldest senior residents here at the shelter. She is 10 years old. She came to us previously owned. So what the situation was is that she was a stray living outside, and a family was feeding her and taking responsibility to make sure she got fed. But then they sold their home and they were moving. So because they didn't know what was going to happen to Claire, they brought her to us so that we could then evaluate her, find her an appropriate living situation. And even though she's been living outside for at least 2 weeks, as far as we know from the people who brought her in, she definitely has been loved at some point. She's very affectionate. She comes right up to the front of her cage. As an older animal, she does have some medical things. She's a little bit overweight, and she has some issues with her teeth, so a dental would probably be a good idea. Possibly she might even need some extractions, but that's not uncommon for senior pets. We have tons of cats who we have to do dentals on here. As you can see, she's still very mobile, but she's been doing really well here, and she just needs a nice, loving home where she can be inside, where it's nice and warm and safe to spend her golden years. Because she is a senior at 10 years old, she would be adopted for a $40 reduction in her adoption fee. So our normal adoption fee is $97.50, and Claire would go home for $57.50 if you were to make her part of your family. Again, we only know what the people gave us. They only said that she was friendly and that she was staying outside. So even though she seems like a house cat, there might be some, normal transitional things. She might try to run outside, so just being cautious. But she's using her litter box really well here, so just making sure that she doesn't escape back out outside is probably going to be the biggest thing you want to watch for, other than just making sure all of her medical needs are met. If you want to give a sweet senior a loving forever home, you can visit Claire here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. This is Little Rock, and Little Rock is about 2 to 3 years old. She came to us as a stray. She has definitely some great markings. She has a very cute little face, just the way that the white kind of highlights around her mouth. She is a young cat, but her personality is more set. So some people like the idea of having a cat that's going to grow up with their children, but maybe you don't want to have to deal with all of those kind of kitten behaviors. So getting a young adult cat like Little Rock might be a good option for you. She did come to us as a stray, but she definitely behaves more like a cat that was owned at some point. When animals come in, we always check to see if they've been altered. And on the girls, we shave their bellies looking for a couple of things. We're looking for either a spay scar, or not a spay scar if they need to be spayed, or a tattoo. So when they shaved Little Rock's belly, they did find that she had a tattoo. And what that means is that and we do it here, when we spay a cat or a dog, then we do a little tattoo just to indicate that they are a spayed animal. Now, we do that because sometimes the incisions heal really nicely and it's difficult to tell that an animal has been spayed. In the barn cat or the feral cat world, instead of a tattoo or in addition to a tattoo, they do an ear tip. So when you notice Claire was here earlier, she had a little bit of a missing part of her ear. That's so that from a distance, people could tell that those animals have been spayed or neutered, whereas the tattoo is more designed for house pets like Little Rock. She is a brown tabby with white. She is very soft. She has like bunny-like fur, and she's just been doing really well here in the cage environment. She is a more high-energy cat than some of the older cats. So if you're looking for just kind of a little bit more activity in your household, then maybe Little Rock would be a good option for you. If you are interested in meeting with her, you can do that here. We are open to the public Monday through Saturday. You wouldn't know it by looking at them, but these two cats are actually kittens. They are just 6 months old, and they are already weighing in at about 8 pounds. So they are big guys and girl. So these guys were adopted from us as 3-month-old kittens. They were litter mates then, and their names were Wilson and Willow. And then they got adopted, and then recently they were brought back to us due to the health of their owners. So now they're back here with us. That's how we know that they are in fact only 6 months old. Their names are now Chase, who is sitting on my lap. He is the boy. And then Tammy has Sky, who is the girl. They are typical kittens. Don't let their size fool you. They are very inquisitive. They play hard and then they sleep hard. When you're walking by their cage, they are usually doing one of two things. They're either sleeping, like dead asleep, cat nap, kittens, or they're making some sort of mess. They love to play in everything, so they will play in their litter, they will play in their water, they will play with their toys. They particularly love water, so that's something to consider if you're wanting to make them part of your family, giving them some sort of outlet to play with that where it's not going to make a huge mess. They are also very affectionate. They are color-coded orange, which means, you know, they're individually average. They want to play when they want to play, and they want to cuddle when they want to cuddle. They have very soft fur, and they're just super sweet, but definitely very curious, want to get into everything, and we have no idea how much bigger they're going to get. So be prepared for having some large cats in your household if you're going to make these guys part of your family. They do not have to be adopted together, but it would be nice, since they've always been together, if they could stay in a home with one another. They are going to be very active. They're going to provide you with lots of entertainment if you were to make them part of your family. They can be adopted here at Animal Control. To start that process, the first thing you want to do is come visit with us. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue, and the kennel hours for animal visitation are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. This is Tunchi, and Tunchi is about 3 years old. And when I first saw this cat, I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, this is a beautiful cat. Before it had been processed and put on the adoption floor. And he is just gorgeous. He has this very sweet face. He is a gray tabby, and he's got these big, bright eyes. He's just adorable. And he was previously owned, but unfortunately, we don't have an owner profile. I believe he did come in with a few dogs, and he did come in with another cat. It might have been Ivy, who was on the show last week. So he is used to living in a home with other cats as well as dogs. So if you have, even though it's not written on here, I'm pretty sure that that is the case. So if you have existing pets and you want an animal that's going to get along in that type of an environment, then Tunchi might be a good fit for you. He is color-coded orange, which here means individually average. So he is your typical cat. He wants to play when he wants to play. He wants to cuddle when he wants to cuddle. He wants to be left alone when he wants to be left alone. But he does still have, you know, his own unique individual personality. As you can see, he's a pretty calm guy. He does come up and ask for attention in his cage, but he's not obnoxious about it. He's not constantly reaching and grabbing people. He just kind of wanders up to the front a little bit, and he's not at all fazed by being moved out into this new situation. He's just kind of settled in nicely on Tammy's lap. He's kind of observing what's going on. His ears aren't flattened. His tail isn't twitching. He's kind of doing slow blinks. He's just a really easygoing guy. That would probably make him do well in any type of households. If you are interested in Tunchi, you can visit him here at the shelter. There is an adoption application. It is a process that takes about 2 to 5 days to complete that application process. And then there's also an adoption interview before you're able to take any of your adoptable animals home with you. If you're interested in Tunchi, then you can visit him here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Now you might be saying to yourself, wasn't that cat already on the show once? This is Madison, and Madison and Little Rock look very similar. That is because they came into the shelter together. They have very similar markings. They have the similar texture to their coat. It's very soft fur, and they're both about the same age, 2 to 3 years old. We separated them on the adoption floor because, at least to my experience, Madison is an escape artist. They were both kind of escaping, so we've separated them. They do not have to be adopted together, but if you were looking to take 2 cats home with you, then these 2 are familiar with one another. One of the things that I've definitely noticed about Madison is that she has a very big personality. She does try to escape from her cage. She's also very talkative, even though she's not showing that side of herself today. When she wants attention, she's going to let you know about it. Right now she's being a picky eater, so we're trying to discover which food that she prefers so that we can keep her on that and get her on a steady diet. Animals who come to us as stray, we're still trying to figure out their personalities and things they like and don't like. And sometimes we'll have a much better idea by the time they go home, and sometimes that's your responsibility as an adopter to kind of figure out their yeses and nos and, what they like, don't like, how to train them, because maybe they are more inclined to scratch furniture or jump on counters and things like that. So it's always going to be your responsibility to work with the animal once you've made them part of your family. Madison, like Little Rock, was already spayed when she came in. She had that tattoo, so she's ready to go. All she needs is to find a loving forever family. If you wanted to make Madison part of your household, you can visit her here. Our hours of visitation are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. We hope you enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable cats. Cats make up 60% of our population here, so there's always many more cats than what we're able to showcase. So if you didn't see something that you want to make part of your family, stop in and visit with us here. After the break, we're going to introduce you to a wide variety of breeds of adoptable dogs. We hope that you'll stay with us.
Frederick Green Homes Challenge is now online. Visit frederickgreenchallenge.org to sign up for a free account and start saving energy, saving money, and reducing your environmental impact. Learn about actions you can take from small to big, like upgrading your light bulbs, using water-saving devices, or installing a renewable energy system. Add actions to your to-do list, earn points for completing actions, and track your savings, all online. You can even post your story and learn from the experience of others. To get started, visit frederickgreenchallenge.org and click Take the Challenge.
Getting your flu vaccine is the best way to prevent getting the flu and possible complications from the flu. People most susceptible to the flu include children 5 years old or younger, people 65 years or older, pregnant women, people with health issues such as asthma, diabetes, and heart disease, and people who take medication that might weaken the immune system. If you have the flu or want to avoid getting the flu, here are some pointers. Cover your cough and sneeze with your arm, or use a tissue and wash your hands. Wash your hands with soap and water. If not available, use a hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid being around sick people. Stay home from school or work if you are sick until you are free of a fever for 24 hours. Contact your healthcare provider if you are sick. To learn more about the flu, please call the Health Department Flu Information Line at 301-600-3035 or visit frederickcountymd.gov/flu.
Welcome back. Our first dog is a very special dog. This is Bentley, and Bentley is a 2-year-old pit bull mix. And in addition to being just super handsome and loving, he is also nearly blind. So he is a dog that's going to need a special home. We have vet checked him here, and our vet found that he is, she says, blind in his right eye and almost 100% blind in his left eye. He can see, he has some peripheral vision in his left eye. So because he can't see, he views his world differently. So he uses his hearing and his sense of smell and his mouth to explore his world. So whereas, you know, most dogs are going to follow you with their eyes, he follows the sound of your voice, and he's very good at it. I was standing actually in a hallway where I wasn't even really close to him, and he knew there was a door closed, and he knew I was out there, and he kept barking for attention because he could hear me moving around. When he meets someone, he uses his mouth like he's licking all over Tammy. That's typical dog stuff, but he's going to do it a little bit more. He's going to put things in his mouth to kind of see what they are. So you want to make sure that you're aware of that. It's very important not to startle him. So we tell everyone here when you're walking up to Bentley to talk to him so that he knows you're coming. He needs you to tell him what's going on. So when you put his food bowl down, you need to let him know that you put it down. Make a noise, rattle it so that he knows where he can find it. And it's also really important that he go to a home where people understand these types of adjustments, and we're really looking for kids that are, 13 and up for him, because we don't want kids to accidentally startle him and then he reacts negatively out of fear. That's something that can happen when dogs can't hear you or see you. Other things that we found, he's just a great dog. He is good about keeping his kennel clean. He's very friendly when you approach his kennel. He reacts well to the other dogs. He loves toys. So you just have to make sure that you're taking into consideration his vision and adjusting your interactions with him accordingly. If you're interested in Bentley, you can visit with him here at Animal Control, 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Sally, and Sally is just one of the examples of the fact that we have a lot of different breeds of dogs right now. Sally is an American Bulldog mix. She is a tan brindle and white. She's a beautiful dog. She came to us as a stray, and we've named her. One of our employees here likes to give everything middle names, and so even though it just says Sally on here, we've been calling her Sally Sue, and she's really nervous at first in new environments and with new people, but once she gets to know you, she is so excited to see new people. If you come up to her and you say her name, she just does the full whole body wiggle. She gets so excited. She loves to be outside. She loves to play, but she is a little bit more reserved at first. So you just need to be patient with her, take things slow. Don't hover over them, kind of get down, let them sniff you. Don't try to make direct eye contact, little things like that. When we behavior assessed her, we found that she's pretty good about keeping her kennel clean. She's very friendly if she knows you, but she kind of is fearful, backs away from strangers. She's easy to obtain unless you're unfamiliar to her, and then she takes a little bit of coaxing. But as you can already see, she's starting to warm up. She's, she's been here for a little while. She's starting to realize, oh, this place is okay. I'm with people that I know, and now I want to lick and wiggle and be goofy. When she interacts with other dogs, if they approach her, she play bows. Otherwise, she's got no reaction to them, no issues with food aggression. She wasn't interested in toys, but she does love to be petted and handled. She's easy to walk. So she just needs that little bit of time to adjust, and then you get what you see right now. And throughout this segment, you saw just how quickly that transition went from I'm really shy and nervous, and now I'm just wiggling, and I want everybody to pet me, and I'm giving everybody kisses. So it doesn't take a long time, but you do have to, be patient at first. And it might be once you even adopt her that when strangers come into your home, she's going to be a little nervous at first as well. If you're interested in Sally, her adoption fee is going to be $92.50. Midnight is one of the youngest dogs that we have available for right now. He is available for adoption at the moment. He is 9 months old. He is a black and white shepherd mix. Because he is still learning one of the all-important things that all young dogs need to learn, and that is what you are and are not allowed to put your mouth on. So right now, that is something that Midnight really needs to focus on in his training and his good manners. So he thinks that he should be able to put his mouth on your hands, on his leash, on all those types of things, because he can very easily get overstimulated and he becomes mouthy and grabby when that happens. We are recommending that he go to a home with children that are at least 10 years old, just because we don't want him to knock over any young children. We don't want him to get overstimulated and accidentally bite somebody. And we want kids who are old enough to understand those aspects of the dog's behavior while he's being trained, so that they can respect his space and his boundaries and read his body language a little bit better. Midnight did come to us owned. His owner said that they had him for 2 months and they were no longer able to care for him. We don't have a ton of information based on their experience. He did live in an apartment. He might be better suited for a home where he can get out more frequently into a yard, somebody who's going to take him, hiking or running or something, so that he has an outlet for all of his energy. But definitely a family who is willing to work with him and train him properly. We behavior assess all of the animals here, as you know, and we found that he is pretty good about keeping his, using his outside run or his separate kennel for going to the bathroom, so he's not going where his bed and things like that are. He's friendly and excited when you approach him. He reacts favorably to other dogs. He can be difficult to obtain because he's jumping and excited. He's difficult to walk because he pulls and he jumps on everything, which is why we walk him on a harness. No real serious issues with food aggression. He willingly lets go of objects, and when you're interacting with him, at first he really leans in and he enjoys that touch. Then he becomes a little bit playfully aroused, and then he'll turns on you and kind of mouths at your hands once he gets overstimulated. So when you want to stop the pets before it gets to that point, so you don't have to worry about that. He's going to need a lot of exercise. Again, just making sure that you're prepared for a high energy dog. He is willing to be trained. He's trainable. As you can see, he already knows sit. So it's just really as the adopter's level of commitment for Midnight. Because he is a puppy, he would be adopted for a fee of $150. This is Hilton, and she is a big girl. She weighs 107 pounds, making her the biggest animal that we have available for adoption right now. She is a St. Bernard mix. We have estimated her to be approximately 5 to 6 years old. She's red and white. Hilton came to us as a stray. I believe the story goes that she was found at a Motel 6, but Motel 6 doesn't make a very good name, so we upgraded her to a Hilton. Because she deserves to be upgraded. She is a dog that does have some things that an owner needs to be aware of. She has a lump on one of her legs that is something that might possibly need to be biopsied, removed, checking that out. But also she needs to have a dental. She's probably going to need to have some maybe some teeth extracted, things like that. Her dental grade is 2 to 3 out of 4. So keeping that in mind as well. And then just, we don't have a requirement for her that she be adopted by someone with large breed experience. But if you're interested in adopting her, make sure you do your research about large breed animals. Their life expectancy is a little bit shorter than a smaller dog, and they do have some specialized things that pop up in their senior years, things like affecting their joints and all of that type of stuff. So you want to make sure that you are adequately prepared to handle those things, and that you can financially support any medical care that she might need. Also, she is a large dog, so maybe an apartment wouldn't be the greatest fit for her. So just some kind of common sense types things. We behavior assessed her, and we found that She uses her outside run or her separate kennel for the bathroom. She's friendly. She reacts favorably to other dogs. She's easy to obtain. She's difficult to walk because she pulls, but even a little pull with a 107-pound dog is going to feel much bigger to you. We're unable to test her for food, aggression, or object guarding because she wasn't interested in those objects, and she loves to be petted. She enjoys that. If you're interested in her, you can visit with her here at the shelter. If you want to make sure that she's available before driving in, you can always give us a call. Our number is 301-600-1546. Our final dog today is Carter, and he's a 2 to 3 year old blue fawn and white pit bull mix. And Carter has quickly won over the hearts of pretty much everyone here at the shelter. At first, he is very shy and nervous around new people and new environments, but then once he gets familiar with you, he warms up pretty quickly, and everyone is just head over heels in love with him. He came from a home where he previously lived with another pit bull mix as well as a small dog and also some cats. So he's used to living in those types of situations. So if you have a cat in your household or other dogs, it's something that should be a pretty easy transition for him. That being said, if you do have another dog, we always encourage you to bring your dog in to meet with our adoptable dog to make sure that we have an idea of how that situation is going to play out. Carter, as you can see, knows some basics. He knows sit. He is also very gentle with his treats. In his behavior assessment, we have found that he needs some work with house training, but that's something that you should be doing even if the dog is house trained when you're starting up a new routine, things like that. He's friendly around people he knows, but he's fearful around strangers. Same thing kind of goes, when you're trying to get him out for a walk, he is really, excited, easy to leash up. But if you're a stranger, then he takes a little bit of coaxing. He reacts favorably to other dogs. He's difficult to walk because he can pull and jump. He's just excited. He needs some, polite leash walking training. Unable to test him for food aggression because he wasn't interested in the food, but he reluctantly gives up objects when asked. When you pet him, he becomes playfully aroused. And again, just reiterating that he's nervous in new environments with new people, but then once he warms up, he's really a sweet guy. So you just want to make sure that you're being patient with him, being not a lot of activity at first in a new home, those types of things to make him feel comfortable. And then in his profile, you'll be able to read all of the reports from the staff about, how he, the length of time that it took him to warm up to them, things like that. So you can get an idea of how he would adjust in your home. If you're interested in Carter, you can visit with him here at the shelter. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We hope that you enjoyed meeting all of these adoptable animals. As is always the case, there are many more that we are unable to show you. So if you didn't see something that piqued your interest, please stop in and visit with us. Our visiting hours are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. And we hope that you'll visit with us and tune in again next week for Pet Pals.
Catoctin Creek Nature Center is excited to offer field trips year-round for public, private, and homeschooled students from pre-K through high school. A hands-on experience will allow students to discover and explore the wildlife in the Piedmont region of Maryland. Topics will include Catoctin Creek critters, investigating insects, and seasons of change. Having fun, exploring, and educating are the components that make Catoctin Creek Nature Center such an excellent resource for outdoor education. For more information or to schedule a field trip, please call our main office at 301-600-2936 or visit us on the web at www.recreator.com.